So I'm making up this vlog. It's Sunday evening. I was at my brother's stag this weekend. Probably drank 10 or 11 gins maybe. I was like, rule number one, never be, if you have a plan, don't be the awkward person who everybody is trying to work around and so on. So there was no plan at all. I enjoyed stuff that I've been keeping off, like the saturated fats. If I'm drinking, I have to have crisps. So I'll always eat crisps if I'm drinking and so on. So I just went, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to really refeed. I was starving as well. I ate 4 or 5 times yesterday. Decent stuff, but I was just absolutely out of my head with the hunger. So I just kept listening to my body and eating. And funny then, I woke up this morning and I went to go down and get a breakfast and order a fry, and then when I came out I went, fuck it, I don't want it. I ate the 2 eggs off it, one of the sausages or even half of it, and that was it. I was gone. So today I've had sweets again, stuff I was off. It's just like this big massive reset. So you have to know sometimes when a reset is going to completely give you this kickstart versus rolling into your next week or whatever it is. If you're programming or your dieting is beginning to slowly slip, well then it might be something you might need to try. If you notice that your energy levels are dropping, you're a bit pissed off, then factor it in, take that complete switch off with the discipline to go back at it again tomorrow type thing. So going to do a barbecue here this evening, just prepping a few bits up, and yeah, let's just turn that down a tiny bit, don't mind. So she's not listening to me. Okay. So I didn't want to be vlogging over the weekend. I didn't want to be walking around. Like, I took one shot of me sitting eating the oak, and some people just don't, they wouldn't get it, and I'm not going to be that person sitting there. You know, I'm 35 now. I said I'm at this industry since I was 22 or 3, and I'm not going to be sitting there vlogging my day. It's fucking not important, okay? It's not important enough to consume your time. Remember, I must vlog this. It was just like, I'm just going to live in the moment. So could have got a couple of shots, and I just ended up saying forget about it. So again, that's where I'm at with all of this stuff. So yeah, I'll pick it up from here as we go forward this week. Finish on, I'll see what way I feel tonight. I know I'm going to put in a huge week of training, but I said I'll see what way tonight works. If it's a lovely evening, I might train, I might not, I don't know. But all I know is starting from tomorrow, I'm going to train really, really hard. I know I'm going to get massive pumps in the gym because I've had all them bits and pieces, the sugars, the drink. So I'm going to have thousands of calories to tie me over for a couple of tough days. And that's what I'll do then. I'll push it hard for 3 or 4 days, functioning on the calories that I had beforehand. I've done an awful lot of waving that white knife in front of you there. The other day I was asked about carb cycling or carb loading and so on. End of the day, so you can see significant difference in the space of a day and a half on the bigger muscle bellies. Okay, when you time those carbs right and you refeed, they go straight to the belly of the muscle. So what I was trying to say was, when you sit on a couch and you just nibble away at carbs, I want you to visualize the muscle belly, okay, after a workout, that it needs, let's say, basically, we keep it simple, it needs some glycogen to go back in. Okay, the muscle will know to pump it to soak it in. However, when you overload on the carbohydrates, or you consistently eat carbohydrates, what ends up happening is it seeps out of the muscle belly, because imagine that it fills up and it'll seep in to that subcutaneous layer, and all of a sudden you have this watery look. So a lot of females panic and they say, oh, if I touch this, I look whatever. Okay, it's usually because you may not have enough muscle mass. So when you see a girl, especially, who even after a night out, they could actually look better. The glutes will be swollen, the legs will be swollen or whatever, shoulders and so on, but they have to have muscle mass. It's the female who's stuck in the area of having very low muscle mass, and every time they eat carbs, they just look like it just goes straight on everywhere and so on. Okay, so it's the same for a guy. You need to, if you're, a lot of lads, they'll run the roads like crazy and they'll try and lose weight, but you need muscle mass in order to play around with food. You'll get away with a lot more as well if you have more muscle mass. So Wednesday afternoon, good bit of going on today. Very little vlogs up to that point. Loads of stuff on, to be honest with you. Just took two days off training. Trained in this morning at 6:30. Just listening to my body, I was like, my God, I'm absolutely bollocks. So I took a few naps during the day. A couple of mornings even woke up and said, going back to sleep, lay on for another hour. So setting up, when we were introducing the hydrogen therapy, we're testing this out now. So I'm actually after buying a water distiller, and as I said, going to be setting it all up. But in order to use the hydrogen, you need distilled water. Very hard to get your hands on, very expensive when you do get it. So the distilled water is actually just the vapor off boiled water. It's the steam comes up, creates the water droplet, and you got to collect the water droplet. So rather than trying to buy, because we're going to need a lot of them, we've a lot of hydrogen machines after being brought in. Later on in this vlog, you're going to see the work we're doing upstairs. So that's where we're going. So it's, what time are we now? 11:15 or so. Wednesday, got to fly to IKEA, pick up a few more bits, and yeah, keep it rolling.
Do we need to be getting baskets?
So we are converting upstairs here, just lining out for space, and I'll show you here in a sec. So eventually we've been able to get everything into the one place. So along this wall we have a full row of stuff being built, so 5 individual pods for 5 saunas, and down at the back 5 hydrogen going on, and then this again we've cleared out over here. All these bags will be gone, and that last station we're just a little unsure of. I've been here experimenting with my brain tap, and again I might touch on this as I go. So I look at some of the brain waves. It's gas. I had a thing in my head there, and it was real high activation, like real creative slash unknown, and you can see the high brain waves in it. And then obviously I went in and I done our brain tap in the audio visual, and completely panned out, fell asleep, and the body went into that recovery mode with absolutely nothing going on in the brain. So we're actually still trying to figure out, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is it that I'm able to actually switch my mind off in that space of a thing, or is it that my body is exhausted? So that's something I'm testing like crazy to see. Then it's Thursday evening, 7:10. We're going to cinema. I haven't done something like that in a long time. Most of my work done here now. I'm having a nice cup of tea, and yeah, I just have to bring in something I can't turn down. I think she's just jealous. The shape I'm getting in. And you have bun in your hair. So yeah, just thought I'd jump in on that one. This little bitch.
Bella.
Hey. Loving our new little puppy. So I was supposed to be in Vegas as of leaving this morning, and I had said that if I was doing the weight cut, the idea was to get to 170 pounds. Then last week I started to change my mind, and I said might put it off for a couple of weeks while I am enjoying it, while I'm getting results. So I just got to idea and I said, fuck it, let's test it and see. 'Cause what was I planning to be? So I started at about 187, I was 186.8 or something. And I said, if I'm going to do the cut, I would have to be at least 180 pounds before I go on it. So let's see what I am now. Go right over it there, yeah. Go on there, stick it over. Boom. So that means right now all I have to lose is 9.6 pounds. I have no idea how hard that's going to be, how easy it's going to be, but it's certainly not what some of them would have to do where they're losing 15 to 20 pounds. So just as for some of you, when it comes to weight cut, like when them guys have to lose 20 pounds because they didn't get the weeks out right, okay, and they come in and they've 18, 20 pounds to lose, they're pulling water from their brain as well. So that's why they end up in a serious, like a bad state. Okay, so the process is, I'm going to go through it, but the process is I'll be doing it at my house. I just need to arrange somebody to be with me because for a couple of reasons. Safety, you can get lightheaded, I could fucking faint, anything. So I think I'm going to go ahead with it. That's the plan as of now. And you'll see more if I have done it. So I'm going to keep this as brief as I can. I had the stag in the middle of it all, right? So most people will quit. The average person will say, I won't do a transformation because I have a wedding on. Ridiculous, very, 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 very average mindset. I might sound like a dickhead doing that, saying that, but I suppose I'm at a point now where I can't deny it. And I think if people can say, no, you know what, you're right, as much as I don't like to hear it, you are right. I'm one of them people, and I've often made them kind of excuses, or sure, we're going away for a week during it. Sure, there'll be no point. Like what is your reason for doing something? What is your reason for wanting to lose weight? Okay, what is your why? Is it to be alive for your kids? Are you seriously unhealthy? We're seeing, loved ones, as I said the other day, getting diagnosed with stuff. Things aren't a shock, okay? We have to be realistic with ourselves. We're all human. I'm human, so I have the same right to talk about humans as you have to talk about humans. Where am I coming from with it all? It's like your purpose has to be huge, has to be bigger, that you can actually adopt a mindset, adopt a lifestyle to say, do you know what? Fuck it. I don't fancy being in bits and telling everyone it's old age at 45. I'm sick of being fat. I want to sort myself out. I'm going to look at my self-esteem and so on. So they're a category of people that affects a lot of people. It's not easy, but you have to put the work in. Okay, you have to put the work in. At the minute, when I'm documenting something, people will go again like they did years ago. They'll say things like, Asher, you were always in shape. No, I wasn't always in shape. And I got really out of shape. I put on a proper, seriously thick layer of fat that I could grip with my fingers, not fingertips. It was proper fingers, like, okay? And it really got me down. And I started to develop a lot of bad habits for lots of different reasons. So I obviously, coming to this point was obviously like I got to a place where I had adopted a lifestyle, I adopted a mindset where I was like, I do want to live for as long as I can. I want to be as healthy for as long as I can. I want to be an inspiration for people. I was 35 the other day. I feel outrageous. I'm going to do a few. I have an idea in my mind when it comes to a fitness thing, and I have a really cool video that I'm trying to make up, which shows explosive power, range of motion. That anything is possible. Stop telling yourself, 27 natures of age, spending money on drink, spending money on fucking vape, spending money on fags and shit food, and not coming up and spending €100 on a flipping HRV test, or 150 euro or whatever, or coming up and doing a food test. This stuff is out there for you to do, okay? The centre we've built is now, as I said, it will and is the only place in all of Ireland that you can get what there is. There's €500,000 worth of equipment alone, not including the gym. That stuff was pittance compared to this stuff because of the value of the machines, the value of the hydrogen machines. I don't know where you'd have to travel to get it, to be honest, because even the people in America are saying to us, like, that's ridiculous what you're doing, and I didn't realise you had so many in the one building and so on. So during this, going on the likes of the stag, I was like, right, I'm not going to be the guy who's up here on a diet. I'm not going to be vlogging. I'm not going to be doing anything. So I had fries. I ate several things. But how it worked was the 2 to 3 days leading into it, I had ate very little. So my body was genuinely now crying out for calories and crying out for food. And that's a different kind of way than when you're on a normal diet and you're just saying, oh, I'm starving today. There will be days you have to suck it up and get on with it. But I was actually on a depletion. I was really low. I was wrecked. And my body was out of its head with the hunger, meaning that when I ate, I still was starving. So I ate loads, I had fun, I drank 10 gins, I had 2 burgers over the course. I had a burger walking home, I had a burger and chips in the meal and a big garlic bread. I'm going to reverse in the day here, I had a cappuccino with a big muffin and so on, and then I had a big huge eggs Benedict for breakfast. So I had loads of food. But once Sunday came, it was bang, straight back to it, okay? And that was the difference. Not letting it lead into Sunday and having more shit meals that evening. That's what kills people. Having done this in the last 2 weeks, it's the first time in my entire life that I looked at food very differently. I focused on 2 things, saturated fats and sugars. That's it. Sugars, I'm only allowed them after workouts. Did I break that? Yeah. I had a few days emotionally, I was a bit low, and I went feeling like shit. I'm just going to sit down now this evening, I'm going to have something small. And yes, you could call it a comfort eat, but it's a difference from what I may have done before. Before I might have sat and I would have drank Coke, 3 or 4 bars of chocolate, large bag of the O'Donnell's crisps, and I'd be only getting going, and that is the God honest truth. I truly am not a person who likes healthy food. It's a chore, and I've had to say it's something I don't like about myself, and I've had to change it. I've had to get a big enough why as to why will I not pick up that Whisper anymore with the packet of baked? Why will I not just keep eating that shit because it's nice? So I try to create a lot of discomforts in my life, which in turn breeds comfort. Okay, working hard. I've took a couple of mornings off lately, and for different reasons. But I was like, look, you've built it up. Will you relax for a minute? Go in an hour later if you didn't sleep well last night or whatever. So they're comforts that have came through pure and utter hardships. So look, I'm gonna leave it at that on this one. I'm gonna move on. I'm not sure, maybe 6:30 is it, or 7 o'clock. I've only eaten once today. I'm going to be sipping away on water now to make sure that I continue to pee, so that I do lose water and that there's water there to lose as well. So that's really it. I'm gonna have a very small chicken curry here, and I know I'm gonna lose the weight, so I don't mind. I'm actually choosing to have the curry and suffer later, because it's freshly made and so on, versus deprive myself now and a little less suffering later. So again, you have to remember, every piece of food you put in you adds weight, every bit of water you put in. So I'm just being really careful with the water. I am going to do some kind of run this evening as well. But again, I'm enjoying the food because I'll put the bit of work in later on. If you wanted, you could sacrifice and starve yourself. This is what you might do with a fighter, but that's because you don't want to go wasting energy. So they would just starve for all of today, and because they just simply don't want to add any extra pounds that don't need to be added. In my case, that's the reason I'm doing it. That's where it's different. I can afford to go run tonight. Doesn't matter if I'm tired, I'm not going in to do a fight. So you have to think about all those things. And I'm going to enjoy this. So I had dinner, lovely curry, bit of water, and gained 3 pounds. So I'm going to start tonight, see what I can do, make it easier for tomorrow. So the idea with this now is this is my first one tonight. Just said, trying to remember back what I did with the fighters when I was both doing the weight cut course and then also training Charlie. So yeah, we've done a big one the night before, and it leaves you with a lot less to do. I'm more likely, I am going to be doing the big one tomorrow, where I'll have the setup here, I'll have the room preheated, this on much longer, and I'll also have the infrared sauna brought out here, so I'll be able to leave this environment, go in there at least, and we'll suss it that way.